Now, this evening's event we titled An Evening of Christmas Cheer. And what we're hoping is that we would still leave here with the feel-good spirit. So we're going to start off. There's just random selection, and all our poets are aware of this and comfortable with this. So we are going to start off this evening with a lovely lady, Denise Armstrong. Denise, if you're here, raise your hand. Lovely. So I'm going to be just reading out a little bit about Denise, and this is only what the poets decided they wanted to share with you. So it's as little as the poet shared or as much as the poet wanted to share. Here we go. If I could only find her bio very quickly, would be great. Denise, you see, if I don't get this bio up in 2 seconds, you're going to be the one I'm going to put on the spot here to tell us who you are. Here we go. Denise Armstrong was born and raised in Jamaica. She's a wife, a mother, a retired educator. Denise studied at Shortwood Teachers College and the University of the West Indies. That's my alma mater as well. She's currently a master's candidate in cultural apologetics. She writes inspirational, creative nonfiction pieces focused on cross-cultural understanding. She's a regular contributor to the online magazine Cultivating and aims to highlight awareness that Earth is crammed with heaven. Very interesting, Denise. We're going to have to talk a bit about that concept at the end. So Denise, welcome this evening, and over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so honored that I was able to make this event. I am wanting to make sure that you know that I would have said a whole lot more, but I was told I was confined to 50 words. Okay. Well, that's
okay. Thank you, Denise. So we're probably gonna have tons of questions for you then.
Okay. Well, let me jump into the two pieces I wish to share with you all today. And I'm kind of glad I went first because I am what I would probably call a traditionalist. I love the tradition of Christmas. I love the origins of Christmas, which I totally believe, as much as those who believe in Santa Claus, I believe in every aspect of Christmas, its origins in the Christian faith. And that's what a lot of my writing centers around. Hence my quote from Elizabeth Barrett Browning, that earth is crammed with heaven. My first poem, Jamaica experiences what is called the trade winds. And as kids, we call that Christmas breeze. So when it was Christmas time, when Christmas time is approaching, the trade winds start blowing through the Caribbean and we feel that breeze, and little children get excited and the poinsettia starts to change color, not the ones that just pop up in the grocery store, but the poinsettia that grows in your front yard, in your grandmother's garden, starts to grow. So here we go. Can you feel it in the air? Can you feel it in the air? There's much more than just a climate change here. Angels sang Christmas morn. Stars declaring the Savior, he's born. Join the song of the ages. Stir your soul, look at history's pages. Jesus, long promised one. Straddling time, son of David, God's own son. Flowers once green, flushing red, poinsettia, holly, form crowns for his head. Bend the wreaths fit for him. Deck the halls, dress the altars for the king. Mysterious night, satin laid for a backdrop to light to history's jewel, the bright star of David. Light of the nations descending upon us, we welcome your gospel. Blessed Savior, we chorus your praise. Trade winds east to west, prophets, scholars, heed heaven's behest. Earth's redemption is nigh. Light, hope, joy, peace are coming from on high. So join the song of the ages. Stir your soul. Look at history's pages. Jesus, long promised one, straddling time, son of David, God's own son.
Thank you. That is piece number one. I was going to just say we'll save all the applause to the end until she's finished the next piece. I see some of our audience members very willing to give that round of applause.
Thank you. The second piece I wrote just this Christmas. I'm in another nation currently, and the landscape is different. Didn't quite feel the Christmas breeze, but I was able to press in. I sat reflecting one evening in the midst of the Christmas season during Advent, and all of a sudden, two things came to mind that met in a way that had not met before, and this poem came out of that experience. It's titled, Desert Evergreen. Fugitive heart, following fear's threats, burying soul, hope and dream, sinking solitary, wandering exposed in shadowlands. Sin fled, sand scorched, heat dried, wind blown, cowering uprooted between rocks. But grace followed. For where can one hide from him? Found a place to quiet and cool the fevered heart, to wait and learn to tend and attend. A place to shelter from the desert wind, succored in mercy's tent, learning to feel again. Fed but hungry, a watcher of sheep, learning to keep for another, a wife, a son, a father-in-law, but longing for meaning, for purpose. Mere existence in desert wild scrubs hope. When hills blend into sameness and only sink into valley after valley, every bush, the next tumbleweed, sandy mirage smothering each horizon. Then the one day, the one bush, like all the rest, no, kindled a fire, like bushes in the dry wild tend to do, no, not going up in smoke. Dwellers in the shadow, burdened under the yoke, cowering beneath the lash, look, see, turn, a great light above the dark land rises, the green tree aflame with life, laden with the gift of God, holiest of adornments hung, flaming brighter than the desert sun, verdant lighthouse in a sea of sand, warning, turn aside and see, land. Hear the crashing of time's waves against the rock of ages that will not move. Light brighter, more scorching than the desert sun, beacon beckoning, turn aside and see, come. Hear the crackling of flames on a promise that yields no ashes. Gilded tree, ark of God, raised above sea and sand, unquenched by fear, undaunted by hate, aflame with unquenchable love, burning to reclaim sons and daughters. Hasten now to the house of bread, approach the love tree. Barefooted, stand on holy ground, kiss the Son, the given one. Lay down your gifts, receive his own beneath the evergreen tree, aflame but not consumed. Coal from this fire, let touch your tongue with purpose and power to tell on Pharaoh's sandy mountains that the I Am has come to bring his children home. Thank you.
Now we can give Denise that well-deserved round of applause.
Thank you.
Is anybody else here from Jamaica in the house? Jamaicans now, yes?
Jamaican.
Yes,
Jamaica.
Jamaica here. Hi,
In the
Denise.
house.
Hello.
Jamaica.
Absolutely. Hey, Jamaica.
Hey.
Your
Denise,
old friend Wayne Rochester.
No way, Wayne. Oh my gosh. This can become the reunion, but hi, Wayne.
Denise, that was lovely. My
Thank you.
takeaway, I always just have one line that resonates in my head whenever I'm doing things like this. But did I tell you I was the Grinch of Christmas? I
No.
should have said. That's okay. I still believe in all the positive parts of Christmas, and I do have hope. So this line that says, mere existence in desert wild, scrubs hope. That is the line that I'm going to keep with me.
I'm
And
glad.
could you imagine they would put the Grinch to host an event like this? Oh my goodness.
Strange.
Risky business, risky business.
I agree.
It was lovely. Thank you very much. I know Alicia is still struggling to get in. I don't know, Gordon, if there's anything we can do. She keeps going in, coming out and dropping off. Our next poet, I thought she wasn't here initially, but she actually is. That is going to be the lovely Shelly. And Shelly, you're lucky I have your bio here in the chat, or else you'll be talking tonight. Shelly, I see we've gone away from the original script of having people's photo coming up because they're here in person. So Shelly, give us a wave. Give us a wave. Hey, and I'm going to be reading out your bio. So Shelly Tracy is a South African poet who has been living in Northern Ireland for many years, donkey's years. She explores the themes of migration, well, go figure, and belonging in her poems, as well as equality, nature, and creativity. She has received many awards from the Arts Council Northern Ireland, including an award for an intercultural project. Her poems are published in many magazines and anthologies, and in her collection, Elements of Distance. Now I'm thinking these names are really throwing me. First it was Denise's, and now we've got Elements of Distance. Whoa, poets, we need to talk about these things. What do they actually mean? And how did you come up with these titles? But anyway, Shelly, maybe you tell me a little bit about Elements of Distance and then you read for us. How's that? If you can unmute.
Hi, thanks very much, Yolanda. Elements of Distance is a collection which is about migration and belonging. It's really about distance in relationships, every aspect of distance, really. And the poems were written over a fairly long period of time. And I've continued with some of the themes. There's a poem about human trafficking. There's a poem about drought. So they come from many aspects of my life and my writing. So I am going to read.
I like it. I like the concept behind Elements of Distance. Thank you for doing that on the spot. But sure, go ahead with your reading, Shelly. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Yolanda. So I'm going to focus on the theme of childhood at Christmas in my two pieces. And I'm sorry, the first piece is not full of Christmas cheer. But you said we were allowed to deviate a little from...
Absolutely, absolutely, Shelly. You go for it.
Okay, and then the second one is more about me as a South African child and my experience of Christmas. Okay, so the first poem is Christmas is the happiest time of the year. The gloves that Mummy shoved my hands into, the booster seat that Daddy thrust me onto, the slamming of the car doors, the journey to the garden centre, the music Daddy played too loud, the shouting words that Mummy whispered, my Teddy's kisses in my ears, the tree the man was selling, the man who smiled at Mummy, the tree that Daddy said he hated, the tree that was a waste, a poor excuse, a shocker, the journey from the garden centre in a silence that was screaming, the tree that Daddy bashed against the wall when he was dragging it into the house, the tree that made my Daddy speak in outside, not in inside voice, The tree too tall for me to reach. The tree that Daddy tugged the lights around too tightly. The tree that found it hard to stand up straight. The tree with broken arms. The Christmas fairy that I made at nursery when I was very young. The Christmas fairy Daddy accidentally ripped when he was setting it upon the treetop. The pale blue angels holding hands across the branches. Last year's tinsel looking grey instead of silver. The gold glass ball that Mummy dropped. The gold glass ball that made a screechy noise when Daddy's big boots squashed it. Thank you. So should I go straight on
Yes,
to the next one?
absolutely, because
Okay.
I did ask the audience to reserve the applause until you
Right.
finished all pieces. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. So this next poem is called Waiting Time, and it's based on memories of my life and Christmases in South Africa when I was a child. Christmas as blank time at the end of the school year, hoping the bullies aren't in the next class. Christmas as sandwiches eaten too early as we leave for the coast. Squashed between siblings in Dad's red Toyota. Journey time measured by library books, eked out between halts. The thud of the sun on my forehead and shoulders. 20 cents is the prize if you glimpse the sea first. Or Christmas as views from a train ride to Cape Town, all those nameless hunched thorn bushes through the Karoo, over 1,000 long miles of waiting. Christmas as beach sand on chilled, moist roast chicken, kept in the cool box Dad fetched from the car. Yellow ice lollies, granadilla and lemon, fizzing my lips and rasping my tongue. Christmas as risking the tall, rushing breakers, leaping directly toward the collision. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If we may give Shelly a round of applause if you Shelly, there's 2 comments in the chat. Beautiful words. Grace and Willetta both send that kind of sentiment. I just sat here thinking, dear God, I hope that Christmas is the only time that bullies take a holiday. From the moment you mentioned going to the next classroom and hoping bullies aren't there, I thought, my goodness me, not at Christmas for sure. But well done to you, Shelly, and thank you so much. Our next poet, all the ladies are leading tonight. Our next poet is a fabulous lady who's right here in Belfast as well. I know the ladies, most of them who live in Belfast. And so it is the beautiful Willetta. Willetta, my dear darling, you better pray I find your bio. Here we go, Willetta. Willetta Fleming also go by the name Willetta Gabriel. It's a middle name. Considers herself a poet for justice. I like that. She's Michigan born and have lived in Northern Ireland for 18 long years. She's very passionate about encouraging others to share their story. She tries to lead by example and to be open with her own story, as she puts it. A couple of things that she's most proud of as an artist was birthing Circle Back, which was an event hosted and organized in 2018, a poetry event that I remember very well. God, it was good. It was an evening celebrating the poetic voice of people of color here in Northern Ireland. As far as she's aware, it is one of a kind with several different poets of color sharing their voices in one evening. It probably was the first Willetta, I don't know, but it was the first that I went to. More recently, she gathered at the Black Lives Matter protest in front of City Hall, where she was able to share poetry written for justice. She believes history was made that day. So do many other people. Many people attended in support, like she's never witnessed in Belfast for 18 years since she's made this country her home, she says. She's taken part in many different events and rubbed shoulders with some of the most beautiful storytellers that live in this beautiful land we call home, Belfast. I just had to add that. It has been intimidating and intriguing and marvelous all at once, says Willetta. Willetta, my dear, over to you. Very, very welcomed you are.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow, that makes me like want to cry already. Such a year, you know? This has been such a year. But I will share the two short poems that I have with joy. So. This year has held a lot. Protests, justice fighting, violence citing, and yet Christmas. A time when we feel the yearning to stop and take the time to assess and to rest. This year has birthed a lot. Dreams, hardworking paying off, visions taking off, and yet Christmas. A time we feel the churning of endings to some chapters and open doors anew. Wherever you reside in the rhythms, bells, or drum beats, Christmas can be a bookmark, benchmark, or birth date to light the way ahead. This year has held a lot for us all, so breathe. Breathe for the breathless who anxiety steals from. Breathe for the father estranged from his son. Breathe for the parents whose child has just passed away. Breathe for the young brother shot another day. We owe each other the gift of breathing when we know it is not really free. This year has held a lot. Let Christmas be a fresh breath, like head rising out of the sea cold water cocooning. Dream and dream again. New days, new chapters. This year will wield a lot. Thank you. And just on to the last one. Christmas is a funny time, I think. I think it's a mystery. That's what I think.
Willetta, I was trying to save my comments for the end, but I've seen somebody else has hit the same marker that I have. Those three words, Christmas, a bookmark, benchmark, and a birthmark to light the way. I trust me, even for me, those are powerful words. So we'll let you gather yourself together for the next piece. Thank you, Willetta.
Thank you. Okay. The lights are on the tree, and that's all I could manage. Yet the manger is where it somewhat began on a cold night without the lights on the tree. And that's when I remember it's not all about me. It's you. Hope. I mailed one solo card this year, and the fear of disappointing friends, expecting, regretting, not keeping my usual history and tradition is making me lose sight of the reason, this season of hope. Christmas has not magically erased the pain of the year and dried every tear, but what I know beyond shadow or guessing is hope. Hope himself came as a babe, and into a man became grace, hope, and love to awaken us to glory, awaken us to love.
Thank you, Willetta. Thank you so much. Again, I'm just going to read in the chat one or two comments. You expressed the fear of this disappointment effectively, says Shelly. Somebody says, hope and love, all we need. Brilliant. That was from Sherry. Beautiful is the sentiment. For me, again, the thing that stood out was when you said it was not about me, but about other people. Really, that is so true. Well, for me, it really is true. I have to remember that the reason I actually do Christmas is for other people. Natasha, how are you doing tonight? You need to
I'm
unmute.
good. I'm good.
Right?
Hanging in
So,
there.
Natasha is one of the founding members of this group, but she's a poet tonight, so she's on the other side of the fence, both Natasha and Raquel, so you'll be hearing from them. So we're going to have a gentleman. It's about time we hear from one of our gentlemen here tonight. So we're going to have, I keep saying tonight, well, it's where I'm at. It's nighttime, so I'm sorry. So I'm going to have Michael. And Michael Wilson. Michael, where are you? Give us a wave. There you are, Michael. You're very welcome. Michael is homebred. He's from Northern Ireland. He is a national award-winning published performance poet. His writing is a balance of light and shade, examining often difficult topics, as in the work Bedlam's Best and Finest, about living with mental illness. He is a multinational slam finalist and most recently competed in the 2021 European Poetry Slam Championship. Michael, we're honored to have you this evening with us. Tell us about the two pieces, or is it one piece you're going to share? Tell us about them and certainly take it away.
Cool, brilliant. You can hear me okay, yep?
We can, Michael.
Grand, great job.
You know, Michael, I have to say, when I saw your headshot, which isn't on the screen tonight, I had a plan, and my plan was, all I was going to say about you was, you're the man with the mic. That's it. There's nothing else that needs to be said. And true to form, you have your microphone.
I have got my microphone. Yeah, it's a little luxury I've taken from the stage. But thank you very much, Yolanda. Thanks for having me. It was great. Really enjoying this. Yeah, the first one is one that I've written myself. Both written myself. This one's been written for today. And then the second one kind of embodies kind of the spirit of Christmas, I think, to a certain extent. But I shall just start with the first one. It's just called Christmas 2021. It's almost as hard to describe it as it is to go through it. Like some dream that evades itself, a loop that winds round like tape or an exit painted onto a wall. Experience teaches us that we are never alone. The one thing we have in common is that our mental health is ours and ours alone. And if words fail the self, then what use are they for anyone else? Christmas, under the muffle of all this, is for some of us little more than a fulcrum between not just past and future, but the parts of the self that don't fit into this world, diseased or not. The day itself makes me feel for all those shut out from their own lives, constantly just beyond arm's reach from themselves, forced to look at all the things they can't have, forced to live by means that are not even means to an end. Myself, an armchair humanitarian, I watch heroes on TV who never had to face what so many of us do, and counting. The days morph into each other. The whole year was like the sag between two poles, a joyless season or two. There is no time. The repetition of shop-worn festive programs, the religion of distraction alleviates the arthritis of self-examination. There is no time. The repetition of breath is one thing in common that is only borrowed at best. There is no time. That Christmas in hospital, in the morning, they give us each a couple of bottles of American beer and a 20 deck of Marlboro Red. That Christmas in hospital, they tried to make the most of it for us. The most celebrated day of the year can also be the coldest. But that Christmas, granted an illumination, a light that still shines even in the cold heart of winter, that hope, the most beautiful of all, belongs to everyone, is not just borrowed. And somewhere in the melee of Christmas, somewhere in all that pageantry, is a communion of friends and family, here, gone, and barely even arrived. One day, you know, we'll have all this down. One day we'll truly understand the virgin birth. One day we'll conceive the impossible, the paradox of fate and free will. But then, as in all life, when all is said and done, it's almost as hard to describe it as it is to go through it. Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Gosh, Michael, I tried to switch things up. I really wanted to leave comments at the end, but you know what? I finally feel like I can breathe. I finally feel like there's a poem here tonight that exactly resonates how I feel about Christmas, why I'm the Grinch. I'm always so sad for everybody else, and I thank you, Michael. That line that says, it's as hard as it is to describe as it is to go through. That is me, Michael.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Thank
Here's your
you
lunch.
for that. Guys,
Thanks.
I'm sorry. Christmas is still happy. We're all here.
This next piece is a happy piece, really, and it wasn't written for Christmas, but it embodies that kind of sense that Christmas can bring out the most beautiful in all of us, and that's what this is for. I'm hoping the microphone works at this level here, but it is using sign language. Do something beautiful while you can. If we were told we had months, who would plant flowers? If we were told that we're all terminal, then surely you should do something to make this world more beautiful. And I've seen Banksy's finest. I've seen flowers filling waste bins like vases. I've seen open and abandoned brollies covered in poetry. I've seen graffiti in a Glaswegian side street that simply read, "You are beautiful," in large letters on a blue background. Because maybe it's about beauty not in itself, but where it's found somewhere where it seldom belongs. It is in Ginsberg's Blackened Sunflower, growing despite all under the shadow of locomotives, when Christ, Buddha, and Vishnu all say in their own way that the strength of life is love, and true love knows nothing other than beauty. So do something beautiful while you can, even if no one sees it. Even if no one hears it, the beat of your voice which was whipped away by winds and storms, and how can beauty ever be enough in the face of fires, coups, and floods, the charcoal of life converted by art into something beautiful? I don't know how. It just does. And if everything was equally beautiful, it would all be equally plain or ugly. Beauty is not just rare, it is often strong. It is not just the orchid, but rather a petal growing on a flower growing somewhere barely uninhabitable. It is, but the stronger it might be, the more beautiful it can become. It's the scarcity of a perfect emotion. It's the ability to rearrange dust into diamonds. So please, if you can, when you can, do something to make this world more beautiful. You never know whose heart you'll help to carry on. You never really know where beauty goes. Thanks, guys. Happy New Year. See you soon.
Thank you, Michael. Can we give Michael? Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm reading some of the comments out in the chat out loud, and just for emphasis, because I have to, I can't help myself. Michael, so love the sign language, so powerful. Somebody says, love your inclusivity. Somebody repeats the words, true love knows nothing but beauty. Love your use of language, powerful visually and lyrically. If you can, and when you can, do something beautiful to make this world. Do something to make this world beautiful, powerful, heartfelt, says Denise. Well done to you, Michael. Well done. Thank you very, very much. Okay, our next poet. I did say hi to her before, and I did say she was one of us. So the next poet needs possibly very little introduction. And this is my girl, Natasha. Natasha is originally from St. John's, Antigua in the Caribbean. And Natasha is a media and communications consultant with a degree in journalism / political science from the University of the West Indies. Quite a few of us here. She is a certified dance educator, poet, writer, content creator, blogger, and podcaster. Natasha currently resides in Belfast and has been here for quite a number of years. Natasha, where are you? Give us a wave.
Right here. Hi.
Beautiful as always, Natasha. Looking forward to hearing from you. Tell us about the pieces and take it away, Natasha.
Okay, so I did 3 pieces because they're short. I don't really do a lot of long poems. The only thing I would say in regards to the theme, when it comes to Christmas and the holidays, I like the cheesy Hallmark cards, you know, the rhymey cards. My poetry isn't normally very rhymey, but for the sake of the Christmas and the holiday spirit, I tried my best to incorporate some of what I love most about Christmas, which is actually card giving, as simple as it is. So the three pieces, there's something special about Christmas. I'll just jump right into that and hopefully they will speak for themselves. There is something special about Christmas. The sights, the sounds, and the smells. The joy on children's faces as they sing off-key jingle bells. There's something special about Christmas and being loved by family far and near. The friendly smiles and wishes of strangers as they scurry along spreading cheer. There's something special about Christmas, more than a well-spread table of food. It's the joy and the laughter of loved ones that really gets us into the mood. There is something special about Christmas, beyond gifts, Christmas trees, and cake. It's the fellowship of time spent with loved ones and the wonderful memories we make. The second piece is called Spare a Thought This Season. Spare a thought this season for those who may not be feeling merry and whose days are not bright. For those whose families lost loved ones. Sorry, I'll start again. Spare a thought this season for those who may not be feeling merry and whose days are not bright. For those families whose loved ones have lost the good fight. May we reach out to those hiding within their minds to escape the cheerful din. Spare a thought this season for those who've lost jobs, homes, and wages. Let's bring them some cheer so they can feel hopeful when they're wished a happy new year. And the final piece, happy holidays to you. This season has been a bow on this present. The past 21 months have been mostly unpleasant, but we give thanks for life and good health. This is true. From my home to your home, happy holidays to you. From 6 meters distance, I'm happy to say, it warms my heart to see that we're hanging in okay. Masking is tasking and sanitizing too, but we're here and that matters. So happy holidays to you. If you're fed, safe, in good spirits and warm, I also pray that the new year brings you no harm. I wish you God's grace and divine protection too. I mean this sincerely. Happy holidays to you.
Well done.
Oh, thank you. Let's give Natasha a round of applause. Girl, I have to be saying, and this is because I know Natasha well, if this girl did not put something about masking and sanitizing in her poets, her name is not Natasha. This is the OCD queen for anybody out there. I also thought we might as well all be singing off-key jingle bells here tonight because this girl is funny. Thank you, Natasha. Those were very lovely, light-hearted pieces. There are a couple of comments in the chat as well. I'm trying to read them out, but I know everybody can see them, but I can't help myself. Livy says the end poems are great. All of them was so endearing. That's from Na. Thank you. Somebody says very nice. I don't know who's a Zoom user, but Zoom user is saying we're here. I don't know from where. What does that mean? But sure, wonderful, Natasha. And again, Zoom user says you captured the meaning of Christmas nuts. So that must be one of your friends. I love everything about that.
Hi to my bestie.
Is that in Antigua? No?
No, she's in Long Island.
All right. Welcome, Long Island. Welcome. Okay, so we're having fun. And I'm really glad to see that you're all engaging in the chat. Thank you very much. So we're going to move to the next poet. I know that one of the poets, I'm reading the private messages, of course. One of our poets is having a bit of technical issues. So I'm going to keep skipping until she's ready for us. So I'm going to move to the next poet, who is another gentleman. I'm not sure if he's here. Kevin, are you here? Give us a wave. Can't see him.
Kevin was saying earlier that he cannot get his video working.
I realized he was sharing his screen quite a lot, so which means something was working, but he probably just got knocked off because he was intruding. So I'm not sure if anybody can send him a message. So I'll skip past Kevin and I'll go straight to the next poet. I didn't get to send this poet a private message, but I'm sure she'll be all right. So Raquel, my dear darling lovely, that poet is you. Raquel McKee, where are you?
I'm here.
Give us a big wave.
I'm here. Hi.
And show the world and country knows Raquel McKee. I'm messing with you, Raquel. Raquel is one of us as well. Raquel is another of the pivot ladies. And if I had to read out this biography, it might have taken me all day. So listen, I'm going to make this girl talk about herself. How's that, Raquel?
What?
Kidding you. I'm joking. Here we go. Raquel is one of the hosts of the Unmute Now podcast run by UK Pivot. That's us. She's a multi-disciplined artist and a primary school teacher. Raquel has poetry published in the 4x4, Writing Home, Her Other Language, Fortnight at 50, and other anthologies. She's an advocate for racial justice and enjoys worship music, maintaining relationships with family and friends worldwide, and dancing. What? Dancing?
No, that's it.
Jokes here tonight. Raquel McKee, a pleasure as always to hear from you. Tell us about your pieces tonight and go right into it. Another Jamaican here. I can't believe the girl didn't say I'm Jamaican born. So for all the Jamaicans in the house, here you go.
Thank you very much.
Listen, Raquel, I don't know why I'm so excited. Must be the fruit cake I just had a while ago. I would not say what's in that cake.
It must be the fruit cake. We'll put it
Must
down.
be.
Fruit cake. But thank you very much for the warm welcome. And I have to say, I feel like I have a big, tall order here to follow the poets who have just gone before, because it's just been phenomenal. You know, what I've heard so far has just been fantastic. So I'm going to share with you just two pieces. The first one is one that was written this year, and the second one is one I've shared before. The first one is called Ripples of Ah, and here it goes. Squeals of delight, inaudible to human ears, must have echoed from water trough to hay bales in that bare delivery room. Ripples of ah would have laced 10,000 intangible wings, all thronging to glimpse flesh-covered glory, bundled in rags of hope and promise. Armed with worship, those invisible soldiers aimed their arrows into the night. Air charged with incarnation, electrifying their praise into human tongue, their weapon of worship into song. The battle was almost won. The God of glory had a human son. Thank you. So that was Ripples of Ah. And the second one I'm going to share with you is called In Love with You, Like You Are with Me at Christmas. So here we go. To take on flesh for me, to be the word that I could see, because my best interpretation of your sweetest words of love amounted to quibbles over which day, how much, what's in it for me, not the impact that my actions have above. And instead of perpetual condemnation, you resolved to permanently change my situation. And you exchanged your royal robes for Mary's swaddling clothes, your throne for the animal's manger, And that while I was still a stranger? How could I not love you? How could I not welcome you into my heart and my life and my home? Hands that shaped the blue whale's form, the Milky Way, the orchestra of dawn, content to be downsized, minimized, a newborn, with tiny fingers gripping Joseph's thumb, omniscient wisdom, content to learn to be an earthly son, content to come down from your kingdom of light to lowly Bethlehem on that time-changing night. To be the light, to transform my deepest night. How could I not love you? How could I not welcome you into my heart and my life and my home? Voice that calls forth all creation, seen and unseen, content to take those shallow newborn breaths, to gurgle new words in a familiar culture, still bereft of the understanding of the significance of their existence, so that I can gurgle spiritual words in kingdom culture, and though bereft of understanding of the significance of my existence, to co-create with you the word of the beginning? How could I not love you? How could I not welcome you into my heart and my life and my home? You made constellations change their form so that they could show where you were born. You made angels form a choir who startled the shepherds and raised your glory higher. You made wise men journey from afar with their prophetic gifts of kingly gold, worshipful frankincense, and sorrowful myrrh. You made Joseph thwart King Herod's plan and shelter his family in Africa's Egyptian lands. If you could go to so much effort for me, what can I do except to be completely, totally, passionately in love with you like you are with me at Christmas? Thank you.
Thank you, Raquel. Come on, guys. Let's give
Beautiful,
Raquel
beautiful.
a round of applause.
Amazing.
Raquel, hear
Amazing.
what?
Amazing.
Somebody said it best in the chat, poignant and personal. That is how I feel. Incarnation well described. Sub-creators are we. Come on, sis. That is what letter. Come on, girl. And Raquel, hear what? I'm going to say tonight, the only thing I'm missing is how come no dub poetry flavor?
You get a different flavor tonight.
Yes.
Tonight you get
Whenever I
spoken
hear
worship
Raquel, I'm expecting a bit of dub poetry in there, my friend. Come on. But well done. Loved it. Really heartwarming. Loads of comments in the chat. Wonderful echoes of the bleak midwinter. So good. Amazing. Amen to that. So, all positive feedback. I have to say, ladies, gentlemen, we're doing well for time. We started at 7:30. The aim was we're kind of rounding up about an hour and 15 minutes, and we're doing well. We've got about 3 poets left, I think, 3. And so I'm going to now bring to you the lovely Alicia. She finally made it in, and I know she said, I've got a message, I'm reading. We need to get Alicia in before her Wi-Fi goes mad here again tonight. So Alicia, you're up. Where is Alicia? Give us a wave.
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
I can indeed, my dear.
Good.
I'm going to just read your bio very quickly. Alicia, again, is another lovely lady that I know right here in Belfast. Now, Alicia Haney, born in the 1960s in London and raised in St. Lucia, Caribbean. living in Northern Ireland since 2000. She works as a private pediatric physiotherapist and is author of A Ray of Hope, Life After Miscarriage. She is a proud mother of Davisa Patterson as her daughter, and she loves singing, songwriting, writing in itself, dancing. What's up with you dancers here tonight? Dancing, praying, and worship. Here it is. You see all you dancers, we're going to have to script. You know the Jerusalem dance? We're going to have to get y'all together for that because this ain't going down lightly. Alicia, you're looking lovely and festive, and we're happy to have you. Tell us about your pieces, and over to you.
Lovely. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me tonight. Such a pleasure to be with you all. I've got 3 pieces that are quite short, and the first one echoes the title that Michael said. So, Christmas 2021. This Christmas for me is a different one. I love celebrating the birth of God's Son. You know, this year, the burdens have weighed a ton. I won't forget this year, the journey that I've been on. This Christmas for me is a different one. I have no card sent, no gift shopping done, my rent running late, my funds almost gone, and the main news I hear is beware Omicron. This Christmas for me will be a memorable one, as I love to celebrate the Savior is born. It's not just a day or the words of a song. So into the new year, I'll keep celebrating Christmas 2021. The second one is called A Christmas Blessing. May you be like the Christmas star, shining brightly and guiding those who see you to where you are. May you have the tongue of an angel, greeting and announcing good news, praising and proclaiming goodwill. May you have the heart of Mary, favored, faithful, filled and flowing with hospitality. May you be the host that experiences the power and overshadowing of the Holy Ghost. I pray you receive your Christmas miracle, knowing that with God, nothing is impossible. And the final one, we all know how Christmas can all be busy and over bustle and a little bit of a stress, but this is called Christmas Pause. I pause to behold his face and to rest in his embrace. I pause just to be still and to know God's will. I pause to meditate and to appreciate. I pause and I hear heaven's applause. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Thank you.
Hey!
Alicia, you've got some diehard family members on this chat here tonight saying, yeah, auntie. That is so lovely. And the comments in the chat as well echoes my sentiments. I really do love the pause. Raquel herself says, love the pause. It does remind us all to pause, to stop, take a minute, a breather from the hustle and the bustle. So the first one you read that talked about the burdens this year weighing a ton. Man, I can identify with that. I'm going to read a couple of the other comments out loud. Somebody says, Alicia, inspirational, relevant. Somebody says, Na says it was very real, very raw, and very honest reflection. I definitely agree with that. Love the reality, Alicia, echoing similar sentiments. Natasha, so good to hear all these hopeful words coming from Sherry. A miracle indeed that we get together here tonight. Absolutely. It's a miracle that we can all be here still to do this. Absolutely wonderful. And somebody says, Michael says, love the final line. I think that was your second piece he was referring to. And so we're going to keep moving along. Lovely. Well done to everybody so far. Sherry, you are up. Now, tonight, I'm feeling well pleased that we have a mother-daughter humble tonight. We have a baby girl here. And we're going to meet both Sherry and her lovely daughter. So I'm going to let the both of them just follow after each other. Sherry and Zoe, where are you? Give us a wave. Say hello. And which part of the world are you, Sherry, if you're hearing me?
We're from Auckland, New Zealand.
Ah.
It's morning.
Oh, so it's morning as well. I think Na is also in New Zealand. We did have a brief chat with Na earlier. Hi, Zoe. How's it going?
Good.
All right, then. Sherry Brandt is originally from Taiwan, but lives in Auckland, New Zealand. She's a short form poetry specialist, writing over 3,000 poems in the last 8 months. Wow. Sherry has developed her own short form poetry structure, the Nunaku. I hope I've pronounced that right, and you need to tell me a bit about that. She has also set up Chalk on the Walk, which celebrates short form poetry on Facebook. Something to check out. Zoe Grant, Sherry's daughter, is only 7 years old and also writes short form poetry. Along with her mom, she works on Chalk on the Walk, helping to illustrate poetry, which is chalked on the pavement, wow, near their home, and then showcased on Facebook. And she has co-authored the book, Batgirl. Okay, so tell us about the poetry structure a bit, Sherry, if you can, and then about your pieces, and then we'll talk to Zoe a bit. How's that? Is that okay?
Sure. Sounds good. Yeah, Nonaku, I came up with this idea last year in September, about 3 months after I started writing poetry for the first time. So I was combining some ideas. As you know, that haiku is about 3 lines, but there's no word count. And then I learned about another poetry form, short poetry form, that's got word counts. So I combined the ideas, and then I encountered haibun, which is like prose plus haiku. So Nonaku is 9 lines with 2 parts. So the main part has 7 lines, and it's 1 word, 2 words, 3 words, 4 words, and then back to 3 to 1 words.
Wow.
And then there is an attachment part that's got 2 lines and from 2 words up to 9 words. So it's the power of 9.
Interesting. Looking forward to hearing your pieces. And then, as I said, you're not getting off the hook tonight, Zoe. No pressure. Go for it, Sherry.
Written some new poems. We got the news that we'll be reading last night, so we brought some new pieces for you. Okay, do you want to start? So Zoe will
you're going to be doing it together? Are you going to be doing it?
Well, Zoe will start. She will read her 3 new Christmas haiku, and then we wrote a renge together about 2 hours ago.
I get you. Well, here, before... Okay, I get you. But before Zoe does that, then Zoe, tell me about Batgirl. Tell us a bit about this book.
Batgirl is a book to encourage children and grandparents and parents to write together. And
yeah, we wrote this last year. Yeah, after we came out of the first lockdown, and then we just put it together as a book later on, so we can go to an author's market. And that was fun. That was really fun. It's a combination of short form poetry and longer rhyme poems. And we were just writing about our family, our cat, and yeah, it's got so many different forms, even like our attempt of a sonnet and a nonaku as well. We've got included. It was really funny. She did all the illustration by herself, even the cover art.
Come on, everybody. Let's give Zoe a big round of applause for that. Come on, Zoe. Families writing together. That's the bit I like about it. The fact that it's really to encourage children, grandparents, and moms, dads to write together. Absolutely beautiful. Now take it away, ladies. Over to you both.
All my faces on display, tree ornaments. All my faces on display, tree ornaments. Dinner time, cracking up on Christmas crackers. Dinner time, cracking up on Christmas crackers. Running late, Santa colt with presents. Running late, Santa colt with presents.
The next one is a ranke we wrote this morning. It's called Christmas Eve. So we'll take turns reading our parts. Opposite day, too far away you live.
A robin lands on the Christmas tree.
You appear in my dreams, falling stars.
Carols in the snow, hot porridge.
Morning post, looking for your name.
Jingle bells, reindeer footprints left behind.
So that's our renge. It's 6 verses, 6 little haiku strung together in the form of 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3.
Very
That's a line
interesting.
numbers.
Very interesting.
So thank you. And I will read you 2 charita I just wrote this morning and 2 poems, longer rhymed poems as well. Christmas tree, the star on top, that's where you are. Bird song with ukulele on the beach, Santa in shorts. So that was my 2 charita. It's 6 lines. I was 1 and then 2 and then 3 lines in any combination. So my longer poems, they're going to be appearing as part of my project to celebrate Alexander Scriabin in a festival next year. I'm hosting a festival and I'm going to write 3 books. I have completed 1, and so these ones will be in book 1 and 3. Mostly love poems, but the second book is going to be about the philosophy, which is what he was interested in, but yeah, not often appearing as poetry. First poem is All I Want Is You. All I want is you. Our favorite song plays in the shop. I hum along, gathering gifts non-stop. Skip for joy, as you'll be coming to mine, to meet my folks, and we'll have wine. All I want is you, in this fine season, head over heels, for obvious reason. Your charming smiles, caring tone, daily check-in at another time zone. We'd sit together, talk about whatever. When I cry, you lend me your shoulder. I can never ever stay cross at you. This Christmas, all I want is you. Okay, my last poem for today is called Christmas Blues. A time of the year for rejoice, yet loss marks another day. Across the night sky a voice quivers, stars fall in dismay. Whatever the color, whatever the season, love requires no reason. My day grows duller in a world without you. Come back, my precious dew. Time runs ahead, do not hesitate. Make words count, even in silence. My heart today, aching with weight. Love ought not be rocket science. Whatever the color, whatever the season, love requires no reason. My day grows duller in a world without you. Come back, my precious dew. Wildfire spreads like rumor. Desire devours everything in sight. Mere infatuation you humor. I fail to see myself in this light. Just want to bury my head in sleep. Storms outside shall wake me not. Nameless numbness creeps deep. Ho, 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 goes the joy I forgot. Whatever the color, whatever the season, love requires no reason. My day grows duller in a world without you. Come back, my precious dew.
Oh, that is lovely. Love requires no reason. Come on, everybody. Let's give Sherry and Zoe another round of applause. Thank you so, so much. I'm gonna read. I'm going to read some of the comments out loud, and somebody's asked for a link to Zoe's book. So if you can share that with us, if you can't share it with us tonight, perhaps you can pass it on to Gordon, but if you can slip it in the chat would be great. I love...
can we just say it here? It's very easy to remember. It's www.batgirlbook.com.
Okay, www.batgirlbook.com. Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing that. I really love Michael's comment. He says he's geeking out on this. I'm assuming it's your poetry structure and just your work on a whole. Somebody says very creative of you to create your own style. Somebody says families working together is great. And that reminds me, I'm very nosy. I absolutely love the family picture you've got in the background. They are very beautiful. I couldn't help but noticing it. Somebody says very atmospheric. Wonderful work, Zoe and Sherry. Teamwork, so inclusive and wonderful. Romantic. Somebody finds you. I know you did say there is philosophy. You're going to bring philosophy into poetry. I'm going to look forward to that, because as you did say, that's a topic that very seldom makes its way into poetry. So that's something to look forward to. So yeah, there's quite a lot of positive comments in the chat. Kevin is up next, and I do believe that Kevin is our last poet this evening. Last but not least, I know he was having technical difficulties as well. Kevin, if you're here now and you're ready, give us a big wave.
My apologies for being late. Can you hear me?
We can indeed, loud and clear.
I have two very, very short poems. This poem is called "This Is Ritual Every Year."
So you don't want me to say anything else about you then, Kevin?
I create spiritual events in pagan sites all over Ireland, Malta, and England, and Scotland.
Absolutely. Thank you for doing the bio for me. When I first saw your name, I was thinking Kevin the Batman, but I know it's Kevin Bateman. Don't worry, that was not meant in any way disrespectful at all. I just wanted to take a crack at you. Anyway, go for it. Let's hear what you've got for us this evening.
This poem is called "This Is Ritual Every Year." A fantasy of a memory, a false memory we internalized. Nostalgia enhances mood and reduces stress. Nostalgia helps us rediscover aspects of our past self. Nostalgia helps diminish loneliness, reminding people that even if you are not physically with those you have loved, you can still be with them in memory. Saturnalia, the feast of Saturn, the freeing of souls into immortality. This next poem is called "Something Lost." I once knew a girl. I loved her. I did not tell her. I do not know what happened to her. Now old and grey am I still think of her. Now dawns upon me. If you are walking through Longford town, look down. Maybe you will find her. Her name was Penny. If you find her, tell me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Come on, guys, let's give Kevin a round of applause. Kevin, here, we better find Penny tonight.
Someone said years ago, is she real?
Is she though?
That's the whole idea, like, you're meant to think.
Listen, I have to ask you another question here. Listen,
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm excited. I had some rum cake earlier, so forgive me
Yeah.
anything I say. So I was just wondering, Kevin, you see the way that you read with a
Yeah.
break between each line? Is
Yeah.
that intentional? Because that really gets me. I don't know if that worked on anybody else's emotions, but is that intentional? Is that just the way you talk in general?
That's the way I perform.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like it. Very punctuated, very, I don't know, it penetrates somehow for me.
It's quite dramatic, like, yeah. It gets the point across, like, yeah, it emphasizes, like, yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna read a couple of comments. Na, all the way in New Zealand, she says, hi, Kevin. Intrigued by your bio, so refreshing to have spirituality and paganism acknowledged. Cheers to Penny, wherever she is. And cheers again to Saturnism. That was from Na to you.
Saturnalia.
Saturnalia, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Natasha says, hope you find Penny someday. Yeah, Penny's gonna become a big topic, Kevin.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're down to the quote unquote end, but I'm gonna give Michael a chance to have a couple of words before you all disappear. Michael, come back.
Yolanda,
Hey, guys.
you've forgotten one.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh dear, who did I? Oh my God, I will not be forgiven. Pat! Raquel, where are you? Talk to me.
Yes, you've forgotten to introduce Pat.
I cannot. Pat, let me see.
Jacobs Reyes.
Pat, let me see your face. Oh my gosh, am I forgiven, Pat? You've been.
You are.
Listen, here's how I'm making up. We save the best for last.
That's it.
I don't think
can't
so.
believe this. And you were the first. You were here all evening patiently. It is simply because my order got messed up, screwed up. So
I know, that's all right. That's all right, man.
Pat, I know you've become like family to us. Well, to me, since I've been rolling in Raquel's circle, you've become like the family somewhere over there. So Pat Jacob Reyes, PhD graduate, is a teacher of English language arts, a teacher trainer, and a public relations practitioner. She hails from none other than Jamaica and currently resides in New York. She writes in several genres and is poised to publish her first book, I can't wait, a collection of poems called Quilted Grace in early 2022. Nice. In Quilted Grace, she showcases her dexterity in using a potpourri of traditional and contemporary poetic styles and structure. Pat, my darling, tell us about these pieces.
Thank you, Yolanda. Hi, everyone. I have really been happy about what I've heard tonight. The pieces have really been inspirational, poignant, powerful, and it has been a pleasure to be here. I have 3 short pieces. Two of them are evocative of Christmas in Jamaica, and for me, they're quite nostalgic because I live away from Jamaica. I live in New York. You'll hear the standard English interspersed with Jamaican dialect. The enunciation and pronunciation of some of the Jamaican words. So you'll hear Christmas, for example, instead of Christmas. That piece is entitled A Time for Singing. Wake up, out of bed, jump up. Feel the chilly Christmas breeze. Give me the sweater, please. A caroling we must go before the morning cock crow. To race course, round trip of 4 miles, walking in double, triple files. Singing a Christmas carol. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her king. See the peony wally glow, mosquito bite, such a woe. Get the empty soda bottle, filled with kerosene oil a throttle, the top stuffed with canvas or cloth, a well-lit torch creating a swath. Sister Blossom, from the Sankey track, all the songs so dandy. We all do not know the words, but we will sing in major thirds, singing a Christmas carol. Away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus lay down his sweet head. See the children awakened from sleeping, through the one-room window peeping. Walk down the lane to Mass Tom Yard, tell the Christmas story as a bard. Tell of Christ's coming to earth, his birth a time of great mirth. Tell of his glory as a king, and let the joy bells loudly ring.
Pat, I'm going to interrupt you because I have to talk about this piece before you do your other piece. Nostalgia, nostalgia, nostalgia. And I see people in the chat saying the same thing. There are some people in the chat on my back telling me no more rum cake, but that's okay because I forgot you. I will forgive Na and Natasha. That's okay. But here, Pat, I have to say, when you start talking about going caroling, that reminds me of being home. And I'm going to plug this. For those of you who've never been to my beautiful St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have a festival called 9 Mornings, where we wake up 9 early mornings leading up to Christmas and go to the city and carol. Belfast, you've tried. We want it back. New Zealand, if you've never done caroling, come on, Sherry and Na, you've got to find somewhere in there. America, if you're here, come on, Pat, you got to lead the thing somewhere in New York. So there you go. I've said my piece. So on you go, Pat.
Okay, I guess the challenge is to move from being nostalgic and get some action, right?
Amen, amen.
All right, so I've interspersed the two nostalgic pieces with one that is basically scriptural based. This is Simeon's meeting. The Christian Bible talks about a devout and just man who was waiting for the restoration of Israel. And the Holy Spirit led him to the temple where he saw Jesus, and he knew immediately that he was the Messiah. So this is Simeon telling his story. Fulfillment of scriptures wanted, for the Gentiles a light, restoration and peace granted, Israel's glory bright. I would not die, the Lord told me, by his Spirit given to me. I would not die. I would not die before the Messiah I'd see. Fulfillment of scriptures wanted, went to the house of God as the Holy Spirit directed. By baby Jesus awed. Right then I knew he was the seed promised to man as I did read. Right then I knew the balm of Gilead revealed. Fulfillment of scriptures wanted, Israel's salvation. Now a song I gaily chanted, revelation for all nations. Now I can go to my rest, baby Jesus held to my breast. Now I can go, wonderfully favored and blessed. And that piece is written in the form of the Trijan refrain. That's a stylistic form used in that piece. And the last one, Jamaican old-time Christmas. Whitewashed discarded tires and a large stone, ringing poinsettias and Joseph coat, making Christmas cake, sorrel, cornmeal pone, new bedspread and curtains for a showboat. Red oak and Rex polish make the floor shine, paint the house fresh coat of toasted barley. Last year, Christmas cards hanging on a twine. Grand market, buying Fifi and Dolly. From the John Canoe Band, young children flee. Christmas morning, early church service greet. Stereo music fill our hearts with glee. Ackee and saltfish, chocolate tea, a treat. Young men with gifts go visit their lasses. Old men sit easy, ever so sassy. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Taking us all back home. Come on, let's
Yes,
get Pat.
that's the authentic
Well
stuff.
Yay.
Pat, you've got some fans here again.
Yes.
Pat, yes. You
There's
captured
quite
the
a lot of
whole
positive
thing.
feedback for your piece and for the evening in general. I'm well pleased and I thank everybody. Michael, you're going to have your last words. I want to ask, because I'm tempted. You see all this money we spend to decorate the house, as Pat alluded to, curtains and bedspread for a showboat. I wonder, does that happen everywhere as only we Caribbean people? I'm really interested to see what people in other parts of the world write. If you spend money to just have your house looking beautiful for Christmas. So pop it in, yes or no. Michael, I know I haven't forgotten anybody this time. Michael, I know you wanted to plug a few words in. Here's your chance.
Oh, thanks, Yolanda. Thanks, everybody. It's been beautiful tonight. It's been brilliant. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was just to let you guys know there's a regular poetry event that's run by Community Arts Partnership Belfast that both Gordon and Shelly work at. It is a regular poetry night with a twist. We encourage performers to read a mixture of their own original work and poetry covers, poems by poets they love and admire. We have 2 headliners each time. It's on the 3rd Thursday of every month. But if you go on Facebook, you can join the Lit Up Poetry group. It's just Lit Up Poetry on Facebook. Join the group and you can keep updated with that. So thank you all so very much. And Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you, Yolanda. Thanks, everybody. Cheers.
Michael, is it also virtual? Can people from other parts of...
Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah. I should have said that. Yeah, it's still online. CIP will put up the ticket link. It's a donation, pay as you feel. It's 7:30 GMT. So you obviously have to make your timeline adjustment. But yeah, it's the 3rd Thursday of each month.
Okay,
So
thank you
very
for
much.
that. Thank you, everybody, and a Happy New Year to all of you as well. Thank you for your positive sentiments. Zoom user, we know you're now Tara. Tara, Happy New Year to you. Thanks to everybody across the globe who took the time to come. And we absolutely love you. Love needs no reason. So I'm going to say, love you all. Goodbye and happy 2022. Thanks, everyone, and goodbye.
Same to you. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Bye.